my friends. This is Brenda L. Balling from Love's Inner Voice, and I'm so blessed to be here today with a friend of mine, Hannah Romanowsky. But before we get to visit with Hannah, I would like to all of us take in a great big deep breath and just ground into the moment so that we can totally enjoy Hannah and the discussion that we're going to have today about how food and dance can heal our hearts.
Mm.
And isn't that a blessing? So let's take a nice deep breath of light and love from whatever divine you connect with. Breathe it all the way down to your toes if you can. And as you breathe out anything you're ready to let go of into that light and love. And let's do that 3 or 4 times just to become present in the moment. We can let everything else go. Doesn't that feel wonderful? I know it does it to me.
Mhm.
Yay. So here we are, Miss
Ah.
Hannah Romanowski. So blessed to have you here. And we were talking about earlier before we went on how our color coordination just sort of matches. It's pretty fun. And she has a beautiful mug that she's drinking water out of too that has color coordination as well. Isn't that beautiful? So Miss Hannah is an award-winning speaker, nutritional consultant, and performing artist known for her pioneering work in the intersection of food, culture, and wellness. I love that, being a nurse. As the creator and host of Dancing in the Kitchen, she inspires audiences to see cooking as an act of love and healing. Through nourishing conversations and demonstrations, she explores mental well being, cultural healing traditions, and nutrition as preventative medicine. Her message is simple, yet profound. Healing is a creative act that can transform our lives, communities, and the planet.
Mm.
Yeah. So tell us about how you moved into this whole perception of food and healing and dance and creativity.
Oh, thank you, Brenda. It's such a joy to be on your show and to be able to have this conversation with you. I know
Thank you.
healing and wellness is very dear to your heart.
Yes, it is.
So, yes. And how I came to bring nourishment and food and dance and culture, community, and music together really comes from my background and my life experience. I've been a professional dancer I've been dancing my whole life, so over 40 years for sure. And I particularly have been drawn to the cultural traditional dances and really connecting to the ancestral wisdom that has come down through culture, through art, and through music and dance. And I really see it as encoded medicine, that there's so much wisdom of our ancestors that has been encoded in movement and in music. And we can tap into that. And it's something in our modern culture we've really moved away from. And it's so important to bring that back into our lives, to re-enchant everyday life, and to find places of beauty
Mm.
and movement and healing, because all of these things are part of living a healthy lifestyle and being nourished on all levels. So food nourishes our body. The kitchen I see as a sacred space and a place where we express love to ourselves, and to our loved ones and our families and friends who we might be preparing food with or eating with. And this too is something that in our modern world, we're so busy, we're ordering takeout, we're calling DoorDash, we're not eating in a healthy, nourishing way. And we seem to have lost that sense of connection that what we put in our bodies is medicine, is healing, is affecting our cells for better or for worse. And to really be mindful of this and to hold as sacred the food that we eat. These are values that I bring into my life and that I want to share with others. So in a way, movement and music, it is nourishment for the soul, just as food is nourishment for the body.
Hmm. That's beautiful. And, the body is a sacred space too. And we sort of forget that
Yes.
because we're so used to just doing, or moving in the way that we're doing. And we forget that everything is integrated. And
Yes.
if it's out of balance, if things are kind of going, yeah,
Mhm.
then, dis-ease comes in,
Yes.
anxiety comes in, not goodness comes in, should comes in. Oh, I should have done that. Now I'm going to feel terrible,
Right.
and all of that is so important. And how do we nurture that? We nurture that spiritually, emotionally, physically, and we
Mm.
nurture it with the healthy food and mindset when we're creating the food, and then
Yeah.
when we're sitting and eating the food.
Mm.
So you
And
mentioned ancestral stuff, and you mentioned deep roots in the world of dance and traditions. And tell us how you blend that with the medicine of food, as you say.
mm. Well, in my studies and experience and research in traditional dance cultures, and my specialty is in Near Eastern and Central Asian dance. It's what
Mm,
I've studied
fun.
for decades, but I've
Mm,
experienced world dance traditions, performing arts traditions from around the world. And there is such a connection with food because these events happen in community. They
yeah.
happen around the fire. They happen around the hearth.
Mm,
They happen in the kitchen. This is actually the center, the soul of culture and where culture developed. Telling stories around the fire, playing music, dancing, and feeding the community with a sense of sacredness for the source of the food and the nourishment. And I hold that in my head, my heart, my body all the time. So with my show, Dancing in the Kitchen, I really view the kitchen as being that sacred space, that stage, and also that center of culture and community. So for me, it's very connected, the relationship between food and community, storytelling, expressive arts, and we can infuse our food with that spiritual wisdom,
yeah.
with intention, and with
Yeah.
grace. Um,
Yes.
you mentioned all the shoulds that we get stuck in all this like heady stuff and
Hmm.
should. How about we treat ourselves with grace?
Yes.
Move through the world with grace. It's never about perfection.
Mm-mm.
It's about being. It's about participation. It's about being in your body. It's about being in relationship. And so the grace of dance is really how we can move through the world, whether we think we're a good
Hmm.
dancer or not, doesn't matter at all.
Right.
It's
Right.
just approaching with an intention how we interact in the world.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And Self-love, you mentioned that, I've mentioned that, is a way of looking at ourselves, looking at our kitchen, looking at our body. What kind of simple daily rituals can you share with our audience that you have found helpful and that your uh, audience has found helpful?
Hmm. Well, first of all, I move every day. I play music every day. If I'm feeling in any way blue or stressed out or overwhelmed or sluggish, 5 minutes of listening to music that touches my heart and moving to it will completely transform my whole space, my whole sense of being in the world that day.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
yeah, and I really encourage, especially this day and age where we're all on computers, get out,
Hmm.
stretch, move your body, and do it to music because you're getting a double benefit there. So that is a way to show self-love and taking a break from the head stuff and dropping into the body. That is one thing. And as far as food goes, I always choose foods that I know are going to make me feel good and that are beautiful. So I love to use a lot of colors in my food. So I encourage people to just add more color to the food and use fresh foods. And one will start to feel the difference in their body that if a food is stains your hand, like pomegranates, I just taught my 5-year-old niece how to open a pomegranate yesterday morning, and it was so fun. And there's pomegranate juice everywhere, but if it stains your hands, I think of it like painting the inside of your body. So find some like really juicy, dark colored, rich colored food that's so beautiful and have something like that every day. That's a way to show love for yourself.
I love that because as a sometime painter with acrylics. I love
Ah,
painting on that. And I can just see a little 5-year-old taking that and putting on a canvas or a piece of paper and just making a beautiful drawing from that juice. I can
yes.
just see that. I think that would be great fun. And I can see some going, oh, come on, ladies.
Well, Brenda, you remind me that the third episode that I filmed of is it the third or fourth? The fourth episode of Dancing in the Kitchen, I had an artist come on, my friend who's a
Fun.
painter, and the episode was called Beat of Your Heart, Beet.
Yeah, yeah. Good
And
old beats that can make lots of colors.
yes, and so I danced in the episode, and she did a sketch of me using beet juice.
Beautiful is
Yes, so
that?
yes, you absolutely can
No, isn't it
play with your
wonderful? And it's,
food.
yeah, and it's a wonderful way to talk story and to share story. And you mentioned about joy and you mentioned about being.
Mhm.
I'm an acronym lover. I love acronyms. And one of the acronyms that I really like that was shared with me a few months ago by a friend is the acronym for JOB,
Mm,
joy of being.
I
And
love.
it's like, it's about my job as a human here is to walk in the joy of being the most authentic, loving, caring, kind person I can be to myself as well as to others. And one of the ways we can be that for ourselves is by what foods we put in, the joy that we use preparing them, the fun that we have preparing them, and then the quiet reverie as we chew and feeling all of that going down into our body, into ourselves. It's pretty magical when we really honor it. But we're so into just gotta get it done, gotta eat in 10 minutes. It's like,
That is so true. And eating is an incredibly transformational act. We are literally
Yes.
taking the world into our bodies and we are absorbing it. And
Yeah.
that's something profound. And
Yeah.
it's transformative for our bodies. And I don't think on a day-to-day basis we really appreciate what we're doing in that process of eating.
Right.
And if we did,
Because
we'd be
it's,
more mindful about
yeah.
what we're
Right.
absorbing.
Right. It's
Mhm.
Mother Earth speaking to our body and the choices that we make and how we do it. And I don't always do it the best way, believe me, because I'm human and I make mistakes and I let hurry worry,
Yeah, don't we all?
enter
Yes.
sometimes, you know. So, but our inner voice, and that's what I love about what I came up with the title of Love's Inner Voice, because it's about loving ourselves and listening to our inner voice and what do we need on a spiritual, emotional, physical, and psychological level. What nurtures us on all levels.
Hmm.
And you've talked so much about nurturing. Is there anything else you want to share about nurturing and nurture related to food? Food is medicine, the body. Or is there
Hmm.
another thing you'd like to share with our audience?
Hmm. I I want to encourage our audience to approach food, to approach the kitchen, and to approach ourselves with a sense of grace and play. I think we can take everything a little too seriously. And as you,
I love to laugh.
I love to laugh too.
Well, and it
Again, we're the
supports our
misleading
immune
thing.
system for Pete's sakes, you know.
Say that again.
Laughter supports our immune system
It sure does.
as
Yes,
well as healthy food.
it sure does. Yes. Yes. And we don't always, no, we don't have to be perfect. That's for sure. And I think when it comes to cooking in the kitchen too, some people have a lot of hesitation. Maybe they don't know how to cook. Maybe they didn't learn. Maybe they just feel like it's a chore and not something that can be fun or creative. And that's what I love helping people with is transforming their idea about cooking and nourishment and the kitchen, um, and approaching it with play and delight.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And, you know, one of the things we talked about joy, the role that joy has played in your healing journey.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tell us about that if you'd like.
Yes, yes. I would say hands down, I would not be the person I am if it hadn't been for dance. If I hadn't been involved in dance when I was very young, and I feel that dance has been my partner throughout all of life and has been such an incredible sense, provided me with such joy and allowed me to process feelings and allowed me to play and express in ways that maybe were not possible in other avenues of life.
Mhm.
And whether it's dance for someone or painting
Yeah.
or any other kind of nourishing, nurturing activity, this is vital. It is not something to put aside. It is not
Hmm.
something, no matter how busy we must take this time for ourselves to have some act of creativity or nourishment, whether you
Yes.
are creating or whether you are enjoying creativity. It could be as
Right.
simple as listening to music or going to a
Yes.
museum. or whatever speaks to you. And I just really want to encourage people to not put it second in life, to not
Yeah.
consider it unimportant. It's vital to our well-being.
Yeah. I really thank you for saying that, Hannah, because, again, just going for a walk and communicating with trees. I know that was one of the things I did when COVID started because I'm a hugger. So
Ah,
I went around hugging trees and thanking them for their loving energy, and you're hugging yourself right now. Sometimes I just hug myself because I live alone and it's okay for me to hug myself and dance around and just go, yeah, you're cool. Let's just, you know,
I love
it's
that.
just, it's part of those ancient traditions too. How many people and cultures dance is one of the things that they do besides food. They dance.
Yes, and it's not a question. No one would ever say, "Oh, I'm not a dancer." Like
Right.
everybody, we're in bodies. It's like we're meant to
Yeah.
move our bodies.
And it doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters what it feels like.
Yes. I mean,
Do I?
mirrors are great in some instances, but they're also not great. Like,
Right.
don't be in front of a mirror. Just feel what it feels like to be in your body. Don't worry about how it looks from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's just like, that's what I like about being and pausing and just noticing, where am I sitting? Where's my brains? What am I thinking of? Am I thinking of, oh, you look silly because you're doing this funky stuff on the camera? And I'm going, no, you know, and it's being curious about where I'm choosing to sit and how I'm choosing to show up. How am
Yeah.
I choosing to use my body? So, is there any last message you're sharing, and how can people get in touch with you? Because I know that you have local classes here in the area because you and I live relatively close together, for which I'm very grateful. But
Yes.
you also have Zoom things. So, for
Yes.
people to learn,
Yes. Well, you can find me on, you can learn more about me on my website, which is danceanddish.com or hannahromanowski.com. But dance and dish is probably easier to spell. And my social handle is at dance and dish. And yes, I live in Petaluma, California, and I partner with a cooking school called Food Sure and teach in-person cooking classes in the Bay Area. And I also teach dance classes online,
fun.
on Zoom, and in person. And so whether I'm dancing or dishing, there are many ways to engage. If you just want more beauty and fun and joy and relaxation and peace and happiness and nourishment in your life. These are the ways that I provide these services to my community. So I'd love for you to
On
engage with me. Yeah.
you for that. And, it's life gives us many challenges.
Hmm.
And it really is, how do we choose? How do I choose to walk in that challenge? And one of the things that I can do is movement.
Mhm.
And I can also pause because perhaps another unseen solution exists, another acronym.
Oh, say that again.
Pause. Perhaps another unseen solution exists. So I may think that something, it has to be done this way. And I'm going, wait a minute, Brenda. There are many opportunities out there and many different ways I can walk across a room. There's
Mm.
probably something else I can do right now. Maybe it's just to take a deep breath. Maybe it's to plan out a beautiful meal just for me.
Mm.
Maybe it's just to have a fresh apple cut up with a little cinnamon on it. Why not?
Ooh, I love that.
I know I
Getting
love apple with
spicy.
cinnamon on it. Yeah. You know,
Yes.
so
And that's a
one of,
sensual pleasure, right?
yeah,
The,
yeah,
the apple, the sweetness, the crunch, the cinnamon and those flavors. It's
yeah,
doing that itself is a creative act.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just cutting up a piece of fruit. Because with my tremors, I cut my fruit a little differently now with
Ah,
less cuts because I don't want to cut myself. And that's okay. They don't have to look perfect.
mhm.
The
No, they
slices of
don't.
apple, the more fun they look to me, the better they are.
That's right.
So why
Why
not?
not? Do it your own way.
Yeah. Is there any one food or food combo that really benefits people that's easy to do and creative at the same time, whether it's hot or cold or whatever? Do you
Mm.
have a favorite thing you like to share related to food?
Well, I already mentioned my love of pomegranates.
Yes.
I I want to say in general, sweet treats are really nice, right? We all love sweets, and I'm all for nutrient dense whole food sweet treats. And this is a very simple thing I really encourage people to do because one thing we all really need to reduce our intake of sugar and our
Yes.
relationship with sugar. Very important.
Yes.
And
Yes.
one food that I try to use for my desserts, my sweets, are dates
Yes.
because
I love dates.
you get fiber, you get all your minerals and vitamins. So I encourage people to have a little date, maybe with a little nut butter, a little chocolate. That is a very sweet treat you can give yourself. And just think about how there's so many sweet foods. You mentioned apples. Apples are a wonderful sweet dessert and way that you can provide uh, that joy in your life.
Yeah.
Because keep having joy in your life. I don't believe eating healthy needs to be about deprivation at all,
Yes.
and nor does it
Right.
need to be boring. Far
Right.
from, nor does it need to be tasteless. Actually, the
Right.
more nutrient dense you eat, the more flavor, because minerals
Yes.
are flavor, colors
Yes.
are
Our
vitamins.
flavor. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I encourage people to shift their thinking around that and just reach for nutrient-dense whole food and sweeteners. Yes. And if you need support around that, it's something I love to provide for people. So I'm happy to do a little consultation on how to eat desserts healthier.
Yay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hannah. Hannah Romanowsky at gmail.com or Dance and Dish.
Yes. Hannah at Dance and Dish. You can reach me there.
Yep.
Great.
Wonderful. Hannah at Dance and Dish. Thank you so much for being with us.
Mm. Thank
Any
you, Brenda.
final, any final?
Oh my goodness, I feel complete. I feel like we talked about so
Yay.
many marvelous things.
We did.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Let's all take a couple of deep breaths and come down from the high of dance and music and song and food as medicine, food as gifts for the soul as well as the body. And just take some deep breaths, light and love into the body. Let that breath nurture the body as well. And as you breathe out any energy, anything that you're ready to let go of right now into that light and love. Let's do that 3 or 4 times. Notice what your body's doing, what message it might be giving you. Maybe it's telling you to go have that apple or that date
Hmm.
if it's mealtime. Blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you for being on Love Sooner Voice. Thank you, Hannah, so much for being with us. Take
Thank you.
good care.
Thank you.
Blessings for 2026.
Yes.